Some of the best movies and books end on cliffhangers, right? I love it when I'm watching a movie, and usually it's a superhero movie, and I check the time and I realize there's not enough time for it to wrap up nicely. So I'm just getting more and more excited for it to be like part 2 coming soon, or to be continued. I love that because, one, I just love movies, but I think stories are so much fun when they end and you just constantly want more. You're just ready for the next one. And now we're in the middle of Holy Week this week, which it starts with Palm Sunday, Jesus' triumphal entry, and it ends, you go through the whole week and it ends with Jesus' resurrection and him beating death, and it's awesome. But in the middle there's some pretty intense stuff, some pretty painful stuff. And on Friday, this coming Good Friday, is when we would, take time to think about the bad stuff that happens in Holy Week. And I'm currently going through a devotional myself, just kind of looking at this week through the eyes of other people, the other people who would have been there, what it would have felt like, after that Friday, after Jesus died and, they put him in the tomb, and how do you go about your life? Because for us, we know the ending of the story, right? We know Jesus wins. We know he defeats death and he defeats sin, and it's celebration. That's why at churches all around the world on Easter Sunday, they're celebrating. But when you're in the middle of that week, if you're there and you don't know how the story ends, it doesn't really seem like it's going to be a to be continued, right? It doesn't seem like it's going to be a part 2 coming soon. In the moment, it probably just felt like the end. And I don't know about you, but there have definitely been times in my life where the things I'd walk through, the pain, the hurt that I was living in didn't really seem like it was a part 2. It didn't really seem like there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. It just kind of seemed like the end. It just kind of seemed like, man, I'm never going to be happy again. Like, man, my family is never going to be whole again. I'm never going to be able to step foot in a church again. It just felt like the end, and there wasn't anything else coming. And so when we look at Holy Week, it's exciting to look at the good things, but I also think sometimes we need that encouragement at realizing that in the middle, it's tough. And in the middle, you might not have hope. Even though Jesus had told his disciples what was going to happen, and it was still tough, and they still kind of felt like it was the end. I mean, Jesus came back and he greeted the disciples, and there were still some disciples who didn't even believe it because they were so sure that was the end of the story. They were so sure that there wasn't going to be anything good that came out of it, that there wasn't a part 2. And maybe, you're hearing this and you're in one of those moments right now in your life where it is just tough, and you just think, man, there's no way God can redeem this situation. There's no way I can make it through this. There's no way there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. And I just want to remind you, it's Holy Week. And there were some of the darkest times during this week, but at the end, Jesus won. He rose from the dead. He defeated sin and the grave. And you might be feeling like really it's just Good Friday for you, and there's no Resurrection Sunday coming, there's no exciting end to the story. But as long as we have breath, the story is still going. God is still writing your story, and it may seem like it's the end, but I promise when you turn to him and you trust in him, a part 2 is coming. And so I just wanted to encourage you all today, just that, it's not over. And if you're, joining a church and you're celebrating this upcoming Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, I just want to remind you, the same power that rose Jesus from the grave is in us. It's not that's a good story for Jesus, or, oh, good for them, like it turned out good for them, but my situation is so awful and it's going to end that way. No. The same power that rose Jesus from the grave, we have that. And when we trust in Jesus, we can have a part 2. And then 3 and 4 and 5, because life is crazy and it's up and down. But it doesn't have to stay in that hurt and in that pain. And so I just wanted to encourage you with that today. As we think about Easter, as we think about resurrection, our story's not done. If you are enjoying our videos and our content, I would encourage you to subscribe to us on YouTube to keep getting these notifications and keep watching these encouragement videos. And you can also follow us on Instagram or even TikTok, or go to our website at calvaryohio.org.